DICE are finally doing what players want with Battlefield 2042. AMD made some stunning claims about their new CPUs, Elden Ring's developers just got bought, and much more on Today in Gaming. Hey guys, LevelCap here, and DICE hosted another developer livestream as part of Battlefield 2042's Season 2 launch yesterday. They announced some pretty big things for the game's future. First is that they are working on persistent servers for the Portal mode. A big problem with Portal servers is that, well, they despawn when they empty out after a certain period of time, so if you find a server that you're liking, well, you can't really favor it and it won't be around next time you log on. DICE are working on a solution that will keep Portal servers around long term. Unfortunately, they also confirmed that All Out Warfare mode won't be getting a server browser. They also confirmed that the All Out Warfare matches won't be added to the Portal server browser. Season 2 did, however, make some interesting changes to how Breakthrough's matchmaking works now. Instead of kicking players to the main menu and restarting matchmaking, Breakthrough servers now switch teams and continue the map at the end of the match, so both sides have a chance to attack and defend. Now, regarding future content, the devs reiterated that we're getting 2 map reworks this season. Renewal will be updated soon, with Orbital's rework launching later in the season. But players discovered one of the bundles in 2042's store has a new image of Hourglass that could be a potential teaser for the map's rework. DICE have previously said that they're prioritizing these map overhauls based on the size of the map. Hourglass being the biggest means it's the last on the list if they ever get to it. But this new image shows destroyed cars buried in the map's dunes. As far as we can tell, this is either previously unreleased concept art or new art that represents the future look and feel of the map. It's more likely that it's just concept though. Finally, DICE explained a little on the upcoming specialist rework planned for Season 3. Each class will have a class-specific gadget that's available to all the specialists in that class. The devs know some players want weapons to be class-specific and they're considering doing that, but there's nothing set in stone yet. I streamed Season 2 for about 5 hours yesterday and was having a good time. The new map is solid. The new specialist is kind of neat to use, but not my favorite. The weapons seem interesting. The Portal weapons feel like they need a lot of balance, but generally speaking, it seems like a good update for the game, and I'm glad it's bringing some players back as well. And that's where I'd like to ask you guys, are you enjoying Season 2's update for 2042? Are you looking forward to the specialist rework next season? Let me know in the comments below. AMD announced their Ryzen 7000 series CPUs with some major revelations. You can expect a 20 to 50% performance gain over last-gen Ryzen and current-gen Intel CPUs. Leaks had suggested a much smaller performance improvement, and of course this data is just according to AMD, so take that with a pinch of skepticism. The performance will also vary a ton based on the games or applications that you're using, but the real kicker is that Ryzen 7000 hits those performance metrics with a lower power draw than other CPUs. Generally, the trend in PC hardware over the last few years has been increasing performance by adding more power, so it's nice to see AMD working on efficiency while improving performance simultaneously. Nvidia's upcoming RTX 4000 GPUs are rumored to draw up to 600 watts, so many PC gamers are worried that their beefy 700 to 800 watt power supplies won't cut it when they upgrade. AMD's pricing for the new CPUs follows previous generations. The cheapest CPU starts at $300, and the top tier, which would be the 7950X, will be $700. The new CPUs launch on September 27th, and AMD claims that they have enough supply to meet demand. Of course, the one gotcha with these new CPUs is that they require a new motherboard with AM5 sockets. Every Ryzen CPU, and even CPUs before Ryzen, use the AM4 socket, which meant excellent compatibility for older CPUs on new motherboards. AM5 won't work with those CPUs at all. The good news, however, is that AMD have switched to a different process for their new CPUs, so there's no more easy-to-bend pins on your CPU. They'll use contact pads instead. Tencent and Sony paired up to buy 30% of Elden Ring and Dark Souls developer FromSoftware. From has been a long-time partner of Sony's. The new investment is intended to give From more development resources and to help them expand internationally. Elden Ring has proven to be a monumental success for the developer, smashing sales records of all their previous games. That success has prompted a push to grow the company and develop more ambitious titles. From's parent company retains about 70% of the shares, so it's unlikely Tencent or Sony will have a major influence on the company's future, aside from additional funding and partnership deals. In other studio acquisition news, Detroit Become Human's developer Quantic Dream has been scooped up by NetEase. The French studio is currently facing backlash over workplace harassment allegations and founder David Cage's comments about women and the LGBTQ community. Cage's games routinely show slavery, sexuality, bigotry, and parental abuse themes. His comments disparage the people on the receiving end of those issues, so critics are concerned if his intentions are altruistic or not. Quantic Dream is currently developing a Star Wars title. The acquisition makes the French studio the first European developer under the NetEase umbrella. The next Assassin's Creed game might be revealed soon. Leaks suggest the game will be called Assassin's Creed Mirage. They say it'll be set in the 9th century Baghdad and does away with the RPG mechanics seen in the recent titles like leveling systems and dialogue choices. You'll play as Basim, a character introduced in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The gameplay is supposedly going to be more stealth-oriented as well, further suggesting a return to the franchise's roots. Mirage is expected to launch in spring 2023. The Grand Theft Auto V Natural Vision mod is finally available to download. It's been available via the creator's Patreon, but is now publicly available to anyone who wants it. Natural Vision is essentially a complete overhaul of the game's visuals. It updates and enhances the in-game lighting, weather effects, textures, building models, and much more to create a nearly photorealistic experience. When Rockstar announced their next-gen upgrade to GTA V, many fans pointed towards Natural Vision as the superior-looking version of the game. Upcoming post-apocalyptic FPS Atomic Heart got a new gameplay trailer, and it's the most promising one yet. The game has been teased and showcased in various trailers for a few years now. The initial trailers were good, but showed a severe lack of polish and optimization. Combat often looked clunky or unrefined, but the latest trailer is a massive leap in pretty much every way. The action is fast-paced, with multiple enemies harassing the player at once. Combat looks like a blend of BioShock and Fallout, with players using elemental abilities from one hand and gun or melee weapons from the other. Several boss fights are also showcased that give a real sense of peril. Unfortunately, Atomic Heart doesn't have a release date yet. Given the massive leap in quality from the latest trailer, it seems like 2023 wouldn't be a bad bet. God of War Ragnarok also got a new combat-focused trailer showcasing the game's expanded roster of elemental attacks. Ragnarok adds weapon signature moves that give the Chaos Blades and Leviathan Axe an elemental damage effect and additional moves. These moves serve as an expansion of the game's combat, giving you more tools and moves to deal with Ragnarok's increased enemy count and variety. The weapon signature moves are just one of the new additions to combat. Other additions include new general combat options and non-elemental abilities. Ragnarok launches on November 9th. Before we get to our next story, please consider subscribing or becoming a channel member. Both are great ways to support what we do here at the channel. In exchange for their extraordinary support, channel members get exclusive emotes and a badge for their name in chat. If you're so inclined, go ahead and hit that join button to see if one of those tiers is a good fit for you. Sony are getting into mobile gaming. They recently bought mobile developer Savage Game Studios, who are already in production on a AAA shooter for phones and tablets. Sony says that their mobile game endeavors will be just as additive as their recent PC ports. That doesn't mean that they'll be making mobile ports of their existing games though. Savage Games will work on both new and existing PlayStation IPs. Sony have a rocky history with portable gaming. Their PSP and Vita devices provided a great gaming experience on the go, but failed to find an audience in the market dominated by Nintendo. The advent of mobile gaming in recent years has shifted the perspective of mobile games from Pokemon and Candy Crush to expansive experiences like battle royales and story-driven games from established developers. Now that Valve's Steam Deck is pushing the envelope even further, it seems like good timing on Sony's part to try portable gaming development again. Now, if you're looking for the full story about Battlefield 2042 Season 2 content, make sure to watch this video next. It has all the info about everything DICE added, plus some tips to hit the ground running with the new specialist and weapons.